intern for me and Dunaway back in the day.
Very successful.
Yeah, he's done well for himself.
On 3 Sports Auburn Live.
Who else?
Well, we had one of the Castile brothers, but it was after his NFL career.
Yeah. He had to get one more credit to graduate.
But he's a
that's a successful
coach.
brother. He's still coaching.
Yeah, we might need to do a shout out to all former interns to get back in touch with us. We'll have a reunion.
I've been storyboarding our off season. We're going to do it this summer. The history of the show. And
you never stop, do you?
One of the episodes is former interns.
Okay, I like that.
Interns/producers.
I've had one time we were out in public and some guy came up and spoke to me. I shouldn't tell this on the show, but I'm going to anyway. Some guy came up and spoke to me, and my wife and I have a system when I don't know somebody's name, and my wife enacted the system. She realized I didn't know their name. And so she gets.
What is it? Is it?
I don't want to say that because I don't want people to know the system.
But you said it.
Yeah.
No, I've never given away my system.
When Brown says, "Hey, big guy, what's up?"
No,
I say, "Wow, man."
That's a wow, man. No, I don't want to give my system away. But my wife enacted the system, and the guy was like, "Oh yeah, I interned with these guys for 2 semesters." I was like, "Holy crap, that guy interned for 2 semesters."
Garrison Brooks.
Oh, Garrison, that's our most successful.
Well,
intern.
he's not in the NBA though. Is he playing overseas?
No offense, Lance,
I'm sticking with Lunsford. I'm sticking with the guy who's eating the cupcake.
Garrison was doing North Carolina basketball on TV in the preseason or something like that. Or
I'd be in Greece if I was Garrison. Those guys make $100,000 a year.
Is that all they make?
No,
I thought they
more
made
than
more.
that.
I thought you make like $500,000 in some of those high-end leagues.
Matt brings up a good point, Tyler. In 5 years, when Brown doesn't remember your name, remember this right here.
Oh, I will.
This conversation's giving me really bad feelings.
No, Tyler. You've done way more than most interns.
Yeah, and the fact that you kick onside kicks up by 30.
Yeah, I'm going to remember you.
2 minutes to go. You carry
high-stepping in the end zone.
You carry a knife bigger than John Rambo.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I'll remember Tyler. I like Tyler.
You got a big knife, right? That happened. Absolutely. All right, that's it. That's our show
happy
today.
birthday, Luntz.
Happy birthday, John Lunsford.
Big
Thanks
night
for being
tonight.
with us.
You got big plans?
You watch the Triangle Sadness tonight?
No, I'm going to Pearl River tonight.
Pearl River. All right.
Philip M's?
Yeah.
Do you need your rabbit to go with you?
No.
Nobody beats Lunsford at the poker table. I don't win. I just beat Lunsford. That's all I do. Championship weekend on Saturday. What are you expecting? Don't make picks. Just what are you expecting? Some of the keys to the game.
On Sunday.
Yeah.
I think, keys to the game, Cincinnati's defense, can they hold up against Pat Mahomes? Pat Mahomes' ankle, I think, is the biggest story of the weekend, obviously. On the other side,
if he's 85%, the Chiefs have a chance.
They've got a chance, but he needs to be closer to 100% for them to win that game. On the other side, it is the best defense against the most dynamic offense in the NFL. And can Brock Purdy hold up? If he doesn't make mistakes, San Francisco wins the game.
Fun Sunday coming up after we do the SEC Big 12 Challenge on Saturday. It all starts off with Auburn at West Virginia and Morgantown.
I did my headline. It wasn't Purdy. It just hurts.
That's good.
That's good.
Thank you.
That's where mine was going.
Mine was going to be something about a Brock block, but
we were going to do those headlines until we had Rockstar join us from Lexington in that award-winning segment. We're back with you Monday. Until next time, God bless you. God bless America.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
Stay up to date with the Next Round on the website, nextroundlive.com. The latest videos from the show, plus podcasts like The Mystery Fifth Hour, Bama and Bourbon, Last Call, and others from our Double Down Media podcast family. You can start your day with the latest college football stories, plus easy to listen to hour-by-hour downloads of the live show. nextroundlive.com, a great way to stream the show live or shop in the Next Round store. Make nextroundlive.com your homepage. That's nextroundlive.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
I'm going to lay it at the feet of Mississippi State. That's where I'm going to put my blame on what cost me my SEC Big 12 Challenge prediction. But I feel like I got the mood of the whole SEC Big 12 Challenge correct. We'll get to basketball in a little bit on the show, a moving coaching carousel. But we'll start with the AFC NFC Championship Sunday. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Rockstar is back off the road after 2 nights in Lexington and 2 shows in Knoxville, Tennessee. Tyler is here, Lunsford, Forrester, and Taylor Korn, who's handling everything on the social media platform. Rockstar, you missed it yesterday at LT's house. We had a chance to do that big board.
Who had number 4?
Oh, I did in the first game.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you.
No, it's not. It's not over yet. Well, no, it's 5 minutes left.
No.
Here's the funny thing. So we've been doing this. I think our first board we ever did.
Don't bring this up. It's horrible.
I think it was in 2012, and it was those championship games. It's back when Andrew Luck was actually playing football.
Yep.
So we've been doing these boards, minus the 2 years the Rams were in the championship game. So we've probably had 20 different boards we've taken a part of.
And they're not cheap, by the way.
I know that.
There's an investment.
You pay into them.
Yeah, but here's the way. It's $10 a category. So really you pay in
60 categories.
No, there's 12 per game.
Rockstar's a little negative about this. I don't know if you can tell.
The guy with the crinkled paper going, did Danny Manning have a double-double today?
I got Jack and Jace to control the board yesterday, so I bought them in a team. So anyway, you put in 120 a game, 240. You win one category, you get $100 back. So 2 categories is basically breaking even out of 24. There's only 10 people participating, but Dunaway swears after these 20 pools that you've never won a category. It's impossible.
Never won a category.
I don't think it's true, but Dunaway says he's never won a single category. Not like been the big winner for the day, a single category.
To the point, it has gotten to where I just am donating the money. If I am invested at all, it ruins my AFC NFC Championship.
You're paying your cover charge.
Well, him and sister-in-law Emily were the only 2 out of the 10 that got completely shut out. Our boy Drew won 6 of the 24.
And AB, of course, AB wins when he wakes up every time. He hit the first 2, just bang, bang. But Rockstar, so I had 9 in the first game, which the chance of me hitting a 9 is like...
Well, you're screwed on the score at that point.
Yeah, I'm screwed just every which way.
Yeah, you
but
need
I had
a 6-3 game.
But I had a 0 in the last one, right? So I'm thinking to myself, man, if this goes to overtime, 2020, that ends in 0. I have 1 here. It's the end of the game, Jim, not the end of the fourth quarter.
Game.
Yeah.
Oh,
but it didn't matter anyway.
Pull it hard for
didn't
overtime.
matter anyway. I mean, I got invested back in thinking, I'm going to win here at the end of the fourth quarter. We're going to go to overtime. No. We'll start with officiating first, because apparently in America, everyone is complaining about 3 calls. I'm going to walk through them real quick.
Okay.
I'll go to what I think is the most egregious one last, but I think they got it all right. First of all, the grounding call. Is anybody questioning the grounding call against
Troy or Tony Romo? On like the 5th replay, did say the back was in the area, but I mean,
what area? He was in the stadium.
No, P. Ryan was in the area, but the problem was Burrow wasn't even looking at him.
Yeah, and Steratore was like, Tony, it's straight in the ground to avoid a sack. I mean, it is textbook intentional grounding.
Now, they probably don't call that on Mahomes. I will say that.
Oh, you don't think?
Probably not.
Why not?
They just did. They don't like to call penalties on
You're
KC.
in on. You think there's a fix?
I don't think there's a fix.
Which side did
but
Lance
for
give out?
whatever reason.
Which side did Lance give out?
Cincinnati. He was all in on Cincinnati.
Yeah, you can tell that real quick.
So
you think there's a fix?
That's grounding all day long.
Both
of the guys have gone out, and he throws it behind the line of scrimmage directly on the ground. It's the easiest call ever.
I agree. I know the 3 calls you can go with. I agree on all 3 of them. Starting with the grounding, I'm just saying if it would have been Mahomes, I wouldn't have been surprised, because how is he evading this rush with his broken leg?
Yeah. But more of the broken leg coming up.
He's not evading the rush. He was basically in the grasp. That's what it was.
No, Burrow's offensive line killed him.
Now, the one that pisses me off the most is the replayed 3rd down. But I guess by the rules, they are doing it right.
Well,
but I understand if I'm a Bengals fan or supporter or gambler in favor of the Bengals or just want them to win, why you get upset about that. I mean, that makes me mad. You played the whole play, and now we're going to reset it and do it over?
You didn't just play the whole play. You played the whole play. The offense and defense have left the field, and you've already got punt and punt return on before anybody ever makes an announcement.
Yeah, nobody in that stadium knew what was going on.
No, including Tony Romo. They're going to go for it, Jim. Pay attention to your own TV screen. They're replaying it, Tony.
But the down thing still had 4th.
I've been to Tennessee games before.
I know, but
it still had
4th because I was trying to figure out. I heard them I heard the announcement. I was like, it is third down, but the guy still had fourth. And I'm like, everybody's confused by this.
But again, it didn't matter because they get off the field anyway.
It didn't matter. You say, and you're probably right. They get the first down, though, because the very next play, of course, what happens?
Yeah.
There's defensive holding, right? And it's an automatic first down. So you knew that was going to happen.
Probably on Eli Apple. It always is.
I think it was, actually. I think it was on Eli Apple.
It always is. Why that guy's still on a roster, who knows?
So the difference becomes time, which I guess you could make an argument Kansas City needed more time at the end, so Cincinnati benefited. I don't know. But, when Cincinnati got the ball back and was driving, I thought they ought to have about a minute more on the clock right now. If that had been, I don't know. I guess the call was right, and they showed in that big high 22 replay the guy running in. Yeah. But have you ever seen like a false start or whatever where they're trying to blow it dead, where a play goes that long before anything? I've never seen that in my life.
You just got to have somebody crash the backfield if an official comes running.
Because the old chunky guy is running from wherever he's running. In the high 22, he's gone about 15 yards, blowing that whistle, waving his arms, and nobody has noticed him, right?
No, and I know it's loud in there. I get it, but still, you gotta knock a player over or something so everybody sees you.
But if it was an Uber Eats guy running out there, we'd all seen him, right? We'd have stopped the play.
I've never seen anything like that. Yeah.
And he's waving, and then he gives up. He's like, well, nobody's paying attention. So he goes back and calls the play, and then he says, listen, I was trying to blow that dead.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that long.
Do you have the legitimate picture of Pat Mahomes next to the head official?
I don't. It's
Photoshop.
Did you not send it to?
I did not.
Yeah. And then there's the roughing afterwards. And I saw Doug Gottlieb. Some people are saying you don't make that call in that situation.
What do you
think about that?
No.
Well, the guy, he's 2 feet out of it. He's got both feet in the white and gets hit.
It's one of the biggest dummy plays ever.
That's an easy call.
It's an effort thing. But once you see chalk over there, and it's both feet on chalk, and Osai's even out of bounds at that point. It just made zero sense. And that was that game goes to overtime. I know they've got one more play, but they're down receivers. They don't have anybody that's going to be able to walk the sideline, get out of bounds with 8 seconds.
Yeah, you're probably throwing the Vantez Scatling. Why can I not say his
Marquez
name?
Valdez.
We just call him MVS.
Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
More than likely that game goes to overtime.
Yeah.
Who knows what happens there?
Yeah, I don't know how anybody argues. Now, people are arguing, there was this personal foul they didn't call. Burrow got hit here. Burrow got driven to the ground and things like that. And all those things may be true. I don't know. They may be true. But if you just take that play, that singular play, you cannot argue. You cannot argue that wasn't a personal foul. It should have been called.
What put them in that spot to even take this game to overtime was Sky Moore's 29-yard punt return.
That's right. Yep.
But if you go back and watch that,
there's a hold.
It was like 4 or 5 clips.
Yep. There's penalties all game.
I understand that the guy had both feet in the outer in the white. I understand that. But we let these guys dance down the sidelines all the time.
But that's not even what this is. That's not what this is.
But we let them do it all the time. So I don't know.
I agree.
I agree with the call. I agree with the call. But here it is right here. And we would let him keep getting yards. We hit him a little late.
Nobody says anything about. Well, first of all, I thought Osai had blown his knee.
I did too.
This staffer over here, nobody talks about what happened to them.
Poor
they
staffer.
Got smoked.
Yeah. I hate to be my dad here, but in 1977 they'd have picked Mahomes up and dusted him off and said, get back out there, kid.
But the rules are different now, and you can't say the one thing that drives me crazy about this. You're not arguing whether it's a penalty or not. If you want to argue that, you're way wrong. But I prefer that argument over you can't call it at that time in the game.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do? The guy has got 2 feet in the white, gets knocked into the bench, and you're telling me you can't call that because it's in the last 10 seconds?
The most controversial championship call we've ever had was Rams Saints. If that wouldn't have been called, that would have been right there with it, though.
If that had not been called? Yeah. Oh, no. It would have been in the same category, maybe. It will always be Rams Saints.
Yeah, I
don't know how you don't call that. That was too obvious yesterday.
We will never have a call that looks more like somebody was on the take than the Rams Saints. That is always going to be the go.
I've got to remind everybody, Saints had the ball in overtime. Breeze is the one that threw the pick.
But that has nothing to do with how bad that call is. That will go down as the worst football call of all time.
I don't know about that.
Brown? Worst football call of all time?
What, Rams Saints?
Yeah. I mean, it was a horrible call.
You had somebody run 5 downs before.
Yeah.
That's not as bad as that one. That's just
allowed a team
to win bad math.
It allowed the team to win the national championship.
Just bad math.
Ohio State Miami end zone pass interference was
a bad call.
Oh, that's questionable. That was a bad call.
I just don't get this either. NH3425 in the chat room, Vulcan Tire and Automotive chat room. NFL either needs to let the guys.
Jenny, what's your number?
NFL either needs to let these guys play or adopt the flag football league. That's what it's becoming. Guys, that is a personal foul on any level. It's not the NFL. That's a personal foul in college football. It's a personal foul in 1A high school football. It's a personal foul in the Gordo Junior League. I mean, it is a personal foul everywhere. The guy has got 2 feet out of bounds.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And you drive him into the bench.
I agree with you. Let's get a couple of reaction things here before we tell you about our friends at the World of Wills, where we'll be on Friday. Let's go first. This is Juan Thornhill of the Chiefs. Do you know what Juan Thornhill plays? I don't.
Juan Thornhill.
Yeah.
It looks like a safety.
Yeah, but he's on the team. Yeah. And he had a microphone afterwards. Here's Juan Thornhill talking after the game. There was a lot of buildup of how the Bengals and Burrow owned the Chiefs, including Burrowhead Stadium, which was popular on social media. Afterwards, it was all Chiefs.
He was talking all week. How did it feel? I wasn't talking all week. They was talking all week about Burrowhead and all that bullshit. And then what happened? Man, look at the scoreboard. We the AFC champs. We the AFC champs. Write that shit down for next year.
You know, I can't believe not only Juan Thornhill, Travis Kelce, Pat Mahomes, the Bengals were in their head, were living in their head. You give KC credit, they win the game, but I cannot believe the Bengals were able to agitate and get under the skins of, it seems like, everybody in that organization.
Now, were the Bengals the ones calling it Burrowhead Stadium, or was it the media?
I think it was the media.
I never saw Joe Burrow call it Burrowhead.
I never heard it called Burrowhead till yesterday.
No, I heard it called Burrowhead in the week, but I thought it was just a thing the media started doing. I never heard any Bengals call it Burrowhead.
I actually said it a couple times on the show on Friday, or as they're calling it, Burrowhead Stadium.
Yeah, never noticed.
It was.
I know.
But it was a one of the Chiefs. I forget which one it was. It was one of their offensive linemen.
You know if it was Travis Kelce, the loudmouth.
Yeah, it was Chris Jones, actually. It was defensive lineman.
Who, by the way, was the difference in the game.
You think?
Yeah, absolutely.
He was unblockable.
And he said, when it was asked about the rivalry, he actually said all week long, it's not a rivalry. We've got to beat them before it's a rivalry.
Yeah.
We haven't beat them. We got to beat them to be a rival. That's the way you talk.
Yeah, I think that's the way you talk. And look, Cincinnati gets humbled there. But, you know, I hear everybody this morning talking about Cincinnati was poking the bear. Kansas City's not the bear. When's the last time they won a championship?
Who's the bear?
The 19.
The Rams are still the bear. I mean, if the planet ends.
The Rams aren't
the Rams aren't the bear.
You couldn't even make the playoffs.
The Rams didn't even make the party.
The Rams aren't even the Rams aren't even the cocaine bear.
If the sun burns out today, your defending champion is the Rams.
Well, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, they're all on vacation right now, so they're not the bear. No, the Chiefs are the bear.
Vacation.
I don't know.
The Chiefs have consistently been the best team in the NFL for a little while.
Well, they've only averaged 15 wins a year over the last 5 years. They really have.
I know, they're the bear.
And they've got one championship.
Still, you got to beat them to win the AFC.
That's
and you got to beat them.
Easy team to pull against.
And you got to beat them on their field. God, how much did you have on the Bengals?
No,
yesterday?
I didn't. I mean,
I've never seen it.
Wait, you don't think the Pat Mahomes full sprint and then limps around on certain plays, and then Travis Kelce just runs his mouth nonstop? It's a tough team to like.
It's called adrenaline, man.
Yeah.
You think he's going to have that image of him hobbling around for the rest of life if he's not really hurt?
Look,
you don't think he's hurt?
You think he's playing it up?
I think he's playing it up, yeah.
For what reason?
To look like, you know, I mean, Tony Romo brought it up on the broadcast. You know, is this the flu game? Is it my guy coming out, New York Knicks, 73?
Willis Reed.
Yeah, Willis Reed.
But he's viewed as the best quarterback in the NFL.
Oh, no doubt.
So why would he have to do something like that?
People like to play it up. I don't know.
And that's your character. Like, dude, this gonna play. I'm gonna play injured. I'm leaving it on the field.
I heard somebody this morning say it was the most courageous effort they've ever seen.
Well, I mean, I
in
think
sports
that's a,
or in general.
I mean, I think Dunaway. I'll go back to Neyland with you directing traffic. I think you were a little more courageous.
What does he want? A Purple Heart? Tell us about World of Wills. We'll get into a little post-game reaction from Osai, and then what happened in a very disappointing 49ers and Eagles game, and then the SEC NFC Big 12 Challenge, part of the next segment.
Hey, we're going to be out at World of Wheels Friday, by the way. Friday, 3 to 5, out at World of Wheels at the BJCC. It's the 52nd annual O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels, and it will be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Thursday on the show, JJ from Good Times. He's going to be there Sunday signing autographs. He's with us Thursday. You can also see Thompson Square Friday night, 6 o'clock, 30-minute performance, followed by an autograph session with a band. Joe and Amanda Martin from Rockstar's favorite show, Iron Resurrection. They're going to be there Saturday. Get a photo and an autograph with them and with JJ and with Thompson Square, all at O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels. Now, you get discounted adult tickets in advance at any Birmingham area O'Reilly Auto Parts stores, or avoid the long lines there, or just go to worldofwheels.net. That is worldofwheels.net.
We'll do best and worst of the weekend coming up as well. This is my best of the weekend because you have Joseph Osai, the former Texas Longhorn, who makes the penalty that sets up an easier game-winning field goal. And the 22-year-old is, he's going to stand in front of his locker and answer questions. But I love B.J. Hill, his teammate, who comes and stands right beside him during the entire interview. And basically, he's curating the questions in a very forceful way. Hats off to B.J. Hill for not making his man Osai answer too many questions about that penalty. Here we go.
He played his butt off the whole game. That's a different question.
Overall, I mean, what it looked like guys were coming up to you on the sideline as you went through that. I mean, what was that like having guys come up and kind of go?
Like I said, it was great knowing that I had the support of my teammates, and I gotta, like Sam was saying, I gotta learn from experience, and I gotta know not to get close to that quarterback when he's close to that sideline. If it's anything that could possibly cause a penalty in a dire situation like that, I gotta do better.
How hard is that to kind of not put all that weight on you as you go through this? I mean, it's just
it's extremely hard, man. Come on, man.
I'm sure it's tough. I'm trying to ask him about it.
That's a really question, bro. Come on.
The support you're getting, is that a sign of kind of the culture that feeds this team?
For sure, absolutely. We're one big family. It's not fake, when the going gets tough, start pointing fingers, we lift each other up, and I'm just happy I got these group of guys around me supporting me right now because it's hard.
Hats off to B.J. Hill for doing that.
Go back to your locker. Let me do my job.
No. He's sitting there, the guy's answering questions.
That's great. He's a stand-up guy answering questions. He's a grown man. Let him answer the questions. Let me do my job.
He answered questions for about 15 minutes. B.J. Hill stood beside him, and when people started repeating questions, he said, move on, man.
You know what? I might have been in another locker. I didn't hear the question. I got to get it on.
Get there in time.
Well, I am in time. I'm doing my job. You go do your job. If you've done your job better, y'all are celebrating going to the Super Bowl.
I've never seen somebody play a heavy like that. I mean, B.J. Hill.
Go back to your locker.
Intimidating the media.
Hey, and by the way, B.J. Hill, I mean, a big man, when he starts, when you're asking questions, he starts looking at his fingernail. That's always a sign he's not in a good mood, man.
Oh.
The fingernail looking.
I would have just, I think I would have walked away if I would have been one of the guys asking questions, because you're going to get nothing at that point.
Oh, I thought it was a really good sound. I watched the whole interview. It was really good.
Yeah.
So I stood there, and B.J. Hill.
Osai was a grown-up doing what he gets paid to do. He made a mistake. He's facing the mistake. Let him be a grown man and do it. I don't need you over here playing kindergarten cop. Go back to your locker. Get your stuff together. Season's over.
My best of the weekend.
Make your off-season plans.
My best of the weekend. B.J. Hill. If I had a 30-minute show on Sunday nights on local television, that would have been my best of the weekend. What do you call those things you do at the end? Final thoughts?
The
parting
bottom
shots?
line.
Bottom line.
On the zone?
That would have been my bottom line. You and I could have gone back and forth right there. One more thing here.
Great TV.
In the opening segment right there on the 49ers-Eagles games, after I tell you about our friends at Wayne's, always remember this website, callwaynes.com. Callwaynes.com. In 2023 at Wayne's, they're celebrating 50 years in business, and as a way of saying thank you to their loyal customers and communities, they're offering $50 off pest, termite, lawn, or mosquito services. Pest, termite, lawn, or mosquito services, $50 off. The goods for existing customers. You're already a customer of Wayne's. That offer is good for you as well. Or if you're a new customer, all you have to do is use the promo code TNR. That's for the next round. TNR when you go to callwaynes.com. Use that promo code anytime you're using Wayne, signing up for new services, changing services, whatever. Always use the promo code TNR and see what great offers you get, including the $50 off right now. And these are stackable, so if you go pest termite, that's $100. Pest termite launch, $150. It's all at callwaynes.com. Part of the 50-year anniversary, use the promo code TNR at callwaynes.com. Such a disappointing game, the Eagles and 49ers.
One of the worst I've ever seen. And not even playoff games, is one of the worst games I've ever seen.
I hope it leads to a rule change, honestly.
It has to.
Yeah,
That was a body bag game.
Yep.
What's a rule change?
We got to address this quarterback situation.
Yeah.
If they're going to police the concussions the way they're policing them now, you got to have more than 2 active quarterbacks.
Yeah, 3, 4, whatever you got to
Yeah,
have.
what is
the goalie thing in the emergency goalie?
They have a standby quarterback at every arena.
Okay, we need one.
Need a standby quarterback?
Yeah.
At every NFL stadium.
Well, I mean, you didn't have a quarterback that could throw
wear
a pass.
either uniform.
I don't care. Do something about it.
No, you got to be able to have an emergency quarterback.
I mean, our friend Stan White was a better option yesterday than Brock Purdy.
So you want that? You remember when you had the slightly older cousin that lived in the neighborhood that would always like ash a cigarette, and he would always be all-time quarterback in the Nerf game for the kids in the neighborhood? You want one of those guys, one of those slightly older cousins who's still in 8th grade in the stadium?
Offensive play when Purdy messes up the UCL and can't throw the football, and he sits on the sideline. It looks like he was tossing the football around a little bit. You bring in Josh Johnson, who was going to do nothing offensively, but once he goes down with a concussion, you can't throw the football at that point. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, Purdy's final stats were 4 for 4, 23 yards. He averaged 1.5 yards per pass.
I mean, they
ruined the game. I never thought an injury to Brock Purdy would ruin an NFC Championship game.
I mean, did you ever have any dream that the end of the game would be Gardner Minshew playing for Philadelphia? And Brock Purdy, who can't even throw.
Well, the funny thing is, we're sitting there and we're like, if Purdy can't throw, at least McCaffrey's a great athlete. Let him, get in there and see what he can do, because he's the emergency quarterback. We saw his one throw. We know why he wasn't throwing the football.
Now Zane says in the chat room, they chose not to have a third QB, right? Yeah, absolutely they did, because you can only have, I think, 47 men on game day. I think it's a 53-man active roster and then 47 on game day, if I'm not mistaken.
46 or 47. I don't know, but it's in that neighborhood.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, you just can't – I mean, you need too many guys to have 3 quarterbacks. And I'm not even saying – I think if it's an emergency quarterback, it's got to be some sort of rule, like if this guy plays, he now becomes your only active quarterback. Like you can't pull your starter and then play the backup. If he doesn't work, try the third-string guy. I mean, you got to have some sort of rules with it. I get that. But you just can't have this situation. Christian McCaffrey's the only guy that can throw the football for them at the end.
Yeah, as Lunsford points out.
That's debatable, by the way.
I know. I mean, that's a throw in air quotes. Yeah.
He threw it. He didn't know where it was going. As Lunsford points out, though, and Jim Nance joked about this in the AFC Championship game, if I'd have told you Brock Purdy started and finished the game and didn't throw an incomplete pass, you'd have felt pretty good about the 49ers' chances.
That's a great point, yeah.
You flipped the score. But you know what? I know we're going to get to this, and you were the first, immediately you said it, Dunaway. We were watching the game. The 4th and 3 to Devontae Smith. It was what we thought was a grab initially, but right when he jumps up, he signals to Hurts.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I caught this ball or I didn't catch this ball, but for San Francisco not to see that really was the game changer.
Or the NFL. San Francisco doesn't even have to see it. The NFL's got the expedited review. Hey, by the way, if the guy that you think caught the ball is running frantically telling his team to get on the line of scrimmage, probably a good time to stop it for review.
But San Francisco's got to burn a time out there, worst case.
Yeah. He was doing this hand gesture, which is the Eagles' hand gesture for let's hurry and make the play, because I'm not sure I caught that ball.
By the way, I bet he won't be doing that against Kansas City.
You don't think he'll be doing this?
I probably wouldn't. I think that's a dead giveaway.
Yeah,
I'd pat my ass or something.
Yeah, I think I change it.
What about hurry up? Rockstar, give me cut 9. Back to the quarterback play. George Kittle, Forster says this is good on George Kittle, talking about the Brock Purdy and everyone trying to play quarterback there. He had to play, basically a whole game with bad quarterback play. Here's George Kittle.
So, George, how does that feel to get to this point, and it didn't even feel like that was your team out there, to get to this pivotal game where you guys weren't yourselves because you were down 2 quarterbacks?
How's that feel to lose in the NFC Championship game because I don't have a quarterback? Pretty shitty, to be honest. Yeah, that's about it.
All right. To the point.
By the way, that hat looks pretty crappy too.
That is a ugly hat.
It looks like he got it at a gas station. Walked in. He's been on an all-night bender.
Flying J.
Yeah, I gotta get a hat.
And I don't understand the boys. Is that what Is that his brand? The boys the boys to me are the Cowboys.
Could be talking about his junk.
The boys, yeah.
I'll say this though: San Francisco has an elite team. Offensive line did not play like it. Give Philadelphia a lot of credit. But the one thing they can't get right is quarterback. You lose Trey Lance for the season in week 2, which was probably a blessing. Garoppolo goes out in week 13. And then this incredible story, which is Mr. Irrelevant, goes down after 6 plays. You bring in Josh Johnson. We all laughed. Started doing the because the game was so boring, so we started doing the Wikipedia. Let's Josh Johnson search this. Guy was drafted in 2008. He has played for 14 different franchises in the NFL.
Unbelievable.
23 different rosters over the last 15 years. It's been amazing.
The boys are Barstool brand hat, which means now I love it. So really good there. So that's a look at AFC, NFC. We'll come back different brands on that as we get ready for the Super Bowl as well. Philadelphia opened as a short favorite, and it's up to 2. Is that right? It was 1, and now it's 2?
I think it opened at a pick, actually, and it's up to Philly 2.
All right, so that's where we are there as we get ready for the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks. We'll get back into that, but when we come back, we'll start our best and worst of the weekend and get into the SEC and the Big 12 Basketball Challenge, which has a variety of storylines out there. The show being brought to you in part by our friends at Nichols Outfitters. As you get rolling into a new year, one thing you want is to make sure all your valuables are locked and secure in a safe. That includes gun safes as well.
It does. Also, deer season is here. Nichols Outfitters has the deer season hookup.
True story. Driving to play at a local golf course, not a sponsor, so I won't mention it, on Saturday.
Okay.
We're driving down 280, right? And there is one dead deer carcass after another on the way to the golf course, just on the right side of the road.
Out and about.
11 dead deer carcasses all the way down. So that means 11 different cars or trucks had hit a deer at some point. So hats off to our local insurance agents who are having to deal with the deer right now.
That's right. If you just want to go shoot them instead of running them over, 50% off all deer hunting accessories, deer calls, scents, attractants. From now through the end of February at Nichols Outfitters. Hurry in, 50% off deer hunting accessories. Now through the end of February, Nichols Outfitters, exit 242 off I-65 in Pelham. Nichols Outfitters knows the outdoors.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at ScottForresterTV.
This hour is brought to you by Culver's. Cake cone, waffle cone, or dish, you can't go wrong with the flavor of the day. Join My Culver's at culvers.com to receive a flavor of the day forecast delivered right to your inbox. That's Culver's. Welcome to Delicious.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters, it's the will to prepare to win." Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that's right for you. Stop by one of the 7 Central Alabama locations today or give them a call at 1-855-4-BRYANT to begin preparing for your financial future today. You'll find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about. Bryant Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or Michelson. LaserVision.com.
Your 24-hour home for the show is our website, nextroundlive.com. Easy links to the day's top stories in the morning rounds, plus the latest videos from the show, podcasts like Bama and Bourbon, The Mystery Fifth Hour, Last Call, and other shows from our Double Down Media podcast family. Nextroundlive.com, a great way to stream the show live or find easy-to-listen to hour-by-hour downloads from the Next Round Live show. And get the latest gear in the Next Round store. Make nextroundlive.com your homepage. That's nextroundlive.com.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Peanut butter and jelly, chicken and biscuits. Man, I love great combos, and you'll love our combo. It's the Bama and Bourbon podcast. The Athletics' Aaron Suttles is part of our Next Round family, and he joins LT weekly for the combo of Alabama sports and bourbon. Find a new bourbon to add to your collection and get all the inside information on Alabama football and Alabama basketball on the field or off the field, on the court or off the court. It's Bama and Bourbon with Aaron Suttles, only on the Next Round video and audio platforms.
Your best and worst of the weekend. A lot of it involving Bama basketball. Troy goes Bama basketball. Best of the weekend because they got their eyes beat out. Worst, Auburn's 4'9" guards still can't shoot. LT's neighbor. Worst of the weekend, Bama basketball. Looked like the team wanted to be anywhere but that arena on Saturday. It was a weird feel from the start. No emotion from the coaches or players ever. The best, I don't know, this weekend sucked. That's LT's neighbor. We'll get more best and worst of the weekend brought to you by our friends at Hemphill in just a second. Right now, 10% off everything with our friends at Hemphill. Adam, Chad, and the team over there, they fix it. They fix it right. They fix it the first time, and they fix it at a fair price. Man, Hemphill is just one of those great American companies that if you got a plumbing problem, a cooling problem, a heating problem, these are folks you can trust. Adam and Chad are local, and they'll take care of you. In fact, the Hemphill name has been a name Birmingham's trusted since 1954. Call Hemphill up now if you got a plumbing, cooling, or heating number, or just write this down because you don't want to get taken to the woodshed by someone who's going to job you up, not doing a good job with your plumbing, heating, or cooling, and charging you too much money. That's not Hemphill. They do it right, and they fix it right, and they fix it at a fair price. 205-229-2090, 229-2090, or just remember the name Hemphill. Man, we got a lot of great listeners and viewers and been with us a long, long time. And as we get older, I appreciate that more and more and more. And that included one email we got.
Beautiful Sarah emailed us. And this is how the email starts. I read this yesterday, right before the game. Dear Next Round crew, first of all, my fiance Brad and I love your show. When we're both home, we watch live on YouTube. If one of us can't catch it live, we try to save it so we can catch it together in the evening. That blew me away right there.
Yeah.
To think that people do that with our show is crazy to me.
Very awesome.
Yes. But her fiance, Big Brad Ambler, had a birthday yesterday, boys. And here's what's cool about that. They just had their first child together.
That's right. Look at that.
You look at that. Look at Brad Ambler holding that baby. I mean,
got to know when to hold them, Ambler.
That's right. Who has a birthday right after their child's born? Oh, you did that, Dunaway.
Yeah.
That's a typical first-time dad, though.
That's right.
Not sure where to put the hands.
Don't break anything.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sit down on the couch and you hand the baby to me. That's the way I did it too, Brad. But I feel you, Brad. My birthday is separated just by a few hours from my daughter's birthday, our first baby. And my birthday got erased at that point.
That's right.
For 22 years, it's been all Harper all the time around our birthday. So get used to it. But that's little Mabel there, who's born right around Brad's birthday. Happy birthday, Brad. He's also his stepdaughter, 7-year-old Marion, who loves Brad a lot too. And, of course, as Brown said, Sarah. So happy birthday.
She did all the work there with the baby. On the day of, Brad contributed early, but happy birthday to Brad
More
Ambler.
on that later, Marion.
Yes, happy birthday, Brad Ambler. Yesterday was his birthday, so I hope he's feeling great today.
Yeah, so
thank you for listening to the show.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. That's best and worst of the weekend as we get rolling here. Let's start with, I guess, the worst of the weekend was Alabama basketball as they went and took on an Oklahoma team. Listen, I told you the feel of this SEC Big 12 challenge was going to be Big 12, right?
Well, I mean, I think everybody agrees that the Big 12 is the best conference.
But I did not think the premier team in the SEC this year, Alabama, would be the one that would lay the biggest egg of the day, and that was the takeaway. Alabama got woodshedded by an Oklahoma team that is sort of lower end of the Big 12 stacking order.
Yeah, I thought this is an Oklahoma team that really can't score the basketball.
They did.
Boy, they did. I mean, Grant Sherfield was incredible. But, I mean, this is a team, before the Alabama game, they scored 52, 60, and 56 in 3 consecutive losses. And then they come out for a season high. It looked like the old Billy Tubbs 80s Oklahoma teams.
It felt like, and I only Alabama's players and Nate Oates can answer this, but it felt like there was a point in this game where Alabama realized we ain't winning this game and checked out. I mean, that's what it felt like watching it to me from several hundred miles away in Birmingham. So it's probably unfair for me to make that assessment, but it's kind of what it felt like watching it, is that they realized this ain't our day, we ain't winning, and they just kind of checked out.
What makes Alabama, not only do they have so many different options, but how good they can be defensively. I mean, statistically, they were a top 5 defense going into that game, and they didn't play any defense at all.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that, I had an Auburn fan that says, see, this is what happens when you play a team that everything they throw up goes in. Listen, I don't think they were shooting over the best defense in the world all the time in this game. This reminded me a lot of the Gonzaga second half, where I think Gonzaga shot 74% from the floor, and they kept getting around Alabama's defense and getting easy looks. They couldn't stay in front of Sheffield and Hill in this game, and they shot 68% from the field in the first half. It was a lot like that second half against Gonzaga, and then Alabama's offense just didn't show up. And my concern is great defender on Brandon Miller and how Brandon can be taken out of the flow of the game. Happened at Houston, and Alabama still won that game on the road. And it happened again Saturday. He still got to double figures, but their defense took him out of the game.
Well, and it was Jalen Hill, 6'6" senior who, wanted to go out there and prove that he can hang with what is viewed as a top 5 guy in Brandon Miller. But, yeah, Miller 4-14, 11 points. I don't think it would have mattered if Miller would have had a career game. I mean,
unless he was going to score 60.
Yeah, I mean, start to finish, Alabama never led that game. They trailed by as many as 32. I don't know how you get down 32 in a college basketball game. You've only got 40 minutes.
And they're not shooting worth crap from the outside, and so much of their offense, obviously, is getting up good outside shots, and they're not making those, which that happens. I mean, teams go in shooting slumps. I don't think this is by any stretch of the imagination time to panic for Alabama, but their last 2 games have been alarming. A state team that they led by 15 most of the second half, in Starkville, came back and did everything but beat them in Tuscaloosa, and then you go get drilled like this at Oklahoma.
Listen, they play again Tuesday.
Yeah, it's a breather tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Should be.
Tuesday against Vandy, the well-coached team. We'll see if it's a breather. Here's my concern, though, LT and Brownie, is that this team looked very tired against Mississippi State, both physically and mentally. And then they still look tired physically and mentally on Saturday. And now they're playing again on Tuesday. That's a quick turnaround for a team that looks like it's hit a wall here in January, about to be February. And this is the question we were asking Nate Oates a few weeks ago. Do you worry about peaking too early? This could be what the doctor ordered, down the road. But right now, this team looks like it needs a break. It needs a rest.
Well, if you can't get motivated after being down 32 and getting completely embarrassed in a Big 12 SEC challenge, and you can't come back and put it on Vanderbilt, a team that you beat by 12 on the road just a couple of weeks ago, something's up. I mean, we'll know a lot about this team over the next couple of games.
And then at LSU, who you beat by 45 at home. I mean, your next 2 games, those should be get-right games.
Really, next
Alabama.
3. Florida
because
at home,
Florida's
too.
the next one after that before you go to Auburn, go to Tennessee.
Yeah. So, and then Auburn, who got way down and battled back at West Virginia and had a chance at the end to maybe walk away and win that game.
Bad final shot, by the way.
Well, bad final shot, but there was a charge block there near the end that there were some people questioning that call there. For Auburn and West Virginia, just what did you think of the end of that game?
Well, look, I thought, first of all, they were fortunate that Eric Stevenson, the South Carolina grad transfer who had been struggling shooting the basketball but can really shoot it, showed it again Saturday, missed the back end of that 1-and-1 or the back end of the bonus.
But isn't he the one that hit the 2 big threes for them?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though.
That kept them in it.
But, to have the opportunity to tie it there at the end, I give Auburn credit, though. I mean, this is a team that was getting completely dominated. And for them to be able to come back, I mean, second half, Auburn offensively played extremely well.
Yeah, I mean, West Virginia felt like they were up 10 in that game before you could even turn around. And most of the first half, 10, 12, 14 points, it seemed like they led that game. Auburn never could just close that lead. And I think it got up to, was it 21? It got up to something like that. And yeah, I mean, I thought Auburn was going to pack it in. You got to give them credit for coming back.
Once they got Broom going, Janai Broom in the second half, that's when Auburn started chipping away and then had a chance at the end. 42 of their 77 points came in the paint for Auburn. They've, because of Broom and the others, they've become a really good in the paint team.
Yeah, I mean, it's just these are back-to-back losses for Auburn. You get Georgia, who's already beaten you once this year at home, and then it's just relentless after that. The schedule really almost never lets up after that. So, whatever ills are plaguing Auburn right now, they have got to get them fixed quickly, because once they get past this Georgia game this week, it is I mean, it is just relentless what they face.
Don't know what you talked about. I mean, their post play right now with Broom and Jalen Williams had a game-high 18 points has been good. I mean, Broom is good, really good. But their guards can't shoot it. Can't shoot.
And that is a problem down the stretch.
Yeah.
We always talk about the NCAA tournament, sort of a guard tournament. We'll see how Auburn improves down the stretch. In that SEC Big 12 Challenge, Tennessee won. They beat Texas wire-to-wire, dominating performance from the Vols, 82-71. When the new AP poll comes out today at 11, Tennessee will be the highest-ranked SEC team at that point. They'll probably be ahead of Alabama when that ranking comes out. Kansas State beat Florida. Kansas beat Kentucky there in Rupp. Baylor and Arkansas, good showing by Arkansas, but Baylor won it. But then the Missouri win over Iowa State was impressive. Number 12 Iowa State, 78-61. But the one that cost me a stake that flipped it around, we had 2.5. I thought the SEC would win 0, 1, or 2, and LT had 3 or more, was Mississippi State beating number 11 TCU in overtime, 81-74. Now, I don't know how this thing turns out if Mike Miles doesn't get hurt at 16-14 of the first half, their leading scorer.
I only played 4 minutes.
But TCU was getting the reputation as a team that could make a Final Four run, and they went into Starkville and lost that game. That was a bad loss for them, losing Mike Miles early, but hats off to Mississippi State. Almost beat number 2 Alabama on the road and then comes home and beats number 11 TCU.
Yeah, I mean, look, Chris Jan's going to take him a little bit to get this thing going, but Mississippi State, to be able to come back in this game and win it in overtime, and I knew after Alabama was one of the givens, I thought, against Oklahoma. After they lost, I knew it was going to come down. I had to have Arkansas or Mississippi State.
Boy, and you had Arkansas for a long time in that game, too.
Yep. But Mississippi State was able to come through in overtime, and big win. But you could make an argument right now, the Big 12 best conference by far, top to bottom, but the teams that were playing the best in TCU, Iowa State, and Texas were your 3 losers.
8 and 10 was the 8 of the 10 home teams won.
Yeah, that was the big winner, was playing at home.
Playing at home, including Mississippi State there. So really interesting. But the big takeaway at the end for me is that I thought the Big 12 was, the premier conference in the country going in when it comes to being tournament ready. I will have a lot of Big 12 love when we do our brackets later on. And the question is now, what is the SEC's reputation coming out of this? Does it hurt the SEC reputation as a conference coming out of this?
I mean, when your best team gets down 32 points and gets manhandled like that, yeah, I think it does. And you lose 7-3 overall. Look, it won't matter once we get to the postseason, as long as the SEC, makes some noise in the NCAA tournament. But right now, I mean, you look at the Big 12. They played for the national championship of football. You just work the SEC, and I know the final score, what Georgia did to TCU, but you just won this one 7-3. And by the way, 2 quarterbacks playing in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. Are they both Big 12 quarterbacks? Is one Big 12, one Big 12 SEC? Is one Big 12, one SEC? Because I heard Big 12 fans saying Big 12 versus Big 12 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but also you'll hear Alabama fans say Alabama's never lost a Super Bowl when the starting quarterback was an Alabama grad. So I think it's been Starr, Namath, and Stabler.
Yep.
or 4-0.
Yeah, 4-0.
Yeah, back to the Big 12, though, on the reputation real quick. The Ken Palm is very well respected. 9 of the 10 in the top 36 of the Ken Palm.
That's right.
I mean, I think that really speaks for itself when you got a quarter of the top 40.
And we saw Texas Tech go on the road and beat LSU, one of those road wins.
Yeah, and that's the one team that's not there.
That's
so
right.
it's a deep conference. There's no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. So a big weekend for the Big 12 over the SEC in basketball. By the way, the Big 12 has won the national championship the last 2 years in basketball. Big game Tuesday for Alabama as they get Vandy in to try to get back right after a couple of down rolls. Auburn goes on Wednesday. UAB did get a win on the road at Rice, 70-52. They get FAU coming up on Thursday night, the nationally ranked FAU team that now has the nation's longest win streak. So FAU rolls in to Bartow coming up on Thursday night. That's our basketball from the weekend. We'll get some more stuff for you before we get to our first guest. At the top of the hour, Ryan Kelly will join the show. He'll be with us to start hour number 2, and we'll talk to him about the NFL and what he has seen, what he saw on Championship Sunday in the AFC and NFC with the Super Bowl now set between Kansas City and Philadelphia. The show being brought to you in part today by our friends at MyBookie, getting you ready for those games where right now Philadelphia, surprisingly, a slight favorite over Kansas City.
Well, listen, you've asked for it. MyBookie is listening to you. They designed that unique deposit bonus that lets you cash in and cash out quickly. It's a unique deposit bonus for sports bettors who want to focus on simply betting and not sweat their payout, right? So you make your first deposit today with promo code NEXTROUND at mybookie.ag, promo code NEXTROUND. Wager that deposit amount just one time, and you can cash it out. You're eligible for a cash out there. If you want a sports book that gives you the most for your money, bet on the big game with mybookie.ag. Rockstar, you know what's coming up, right? The Superb Owl.
The Superb Owl.
As you always call it, the Superb Owl is coming up.
SuperbOwl.com.
And you can play the Superb Owl at mybookie.ag. Pre-game, live line, Superb Owl props. Everything from the opening coin toss, the length of the national anthem, the color of the Gatorade dumped on the winning coach. You love those things. You can play them at mybookie.ag. Mybookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag. Code next round for that deposit bonus. Mybookie.ag. Code next round.
What's the latest on the coaching carousel? Is there something happening over in Tuscaloosa? We'll put our heads together and talk a little bit about what's next in some college football news before we get back to the NFL on TNR.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
For more than 40 years, Red Wing Shoes has been helping the hardworking people of Alabama. This is why Red Wing Shoes has created the 3-step comfort solution. Step 1, a certified fit specialist will use a 3D scan to electronically measure your feet and arches. Step 2, help you get the appropriate footwear for your occupation. Step 3, customize your boot or shoe with a Red Wing orthotic. Whether you have high arches or flat feet, Red Wing has the comfort solution for you. So experience comfort at its best. Visit one of the Red Wing shoe stores located in Pelham or Trussville. Everyone makes New Year's resolutions. This year, make the best resolution ever. If you are buying a new home in 2023, use Holly Mack Wilson and get started right away. Let an experienced professional help you get your home ready to sell before the spring buying season. Holly Mack Wilson can help you with all your home buying and selling needs anytime, anywhere in Alabama. Make the best resolution ever and call today 205-901-9446 or online at hollymackhomes.com. Holly Mack Wilson, an anywhere in Alabama Keller Williams agent.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the next round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and Bourbon, our weekly college football conversation, while sipping on some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And in our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, LT takes off the gloves for in-depth conversations with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmont Vodka. Find these podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com. The latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
The NFL playoffs are here and the action has been incredible. Join us every Thursday as we look forward to the weekend's NFL playoff action presented by Pepsi. Pepsi, giving you the NFL and the next round all the way through the Super Bowl.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com. The latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com. That's nextroundlive.com. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Back with you on the next round. Remember Eric Keesaw? Did I ever get his name right at Auburn?
I don't know, but I do remember him. I know you're talking about.
He is going to be analyst on the Florida staff. That news coming yesterday. Keep an eye on Todd Monken interviewing with the Ravens over the weekend to be their OC. It would be a big loss for the Georgia Bulldogs if they lose Monken. He's been a great play caller the last couple of years for the national champs. And Jake Long, former defensive analyst at Alabama, is back at Alabama, leaving Dan Lanning in Oregon over the weekend. He's going to be back to be a defensive analyst in Tuscaloosa, where he last played in 2016 for then defensive coordinator Jeremy Pruitt. And he worked as a grad assistant for a few years after that, and then an analyst before he went off to Oregon with Alabama. So he's back home this weekend. More on the coaching carousel after LT tells us about the wonderful folks at Slice.
Hey, local pizza, local ingredients. I could crush a sliced pizza right now. I don't know about you guys.
Almost always.
Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week at all locations. Curbside family pack. It's only $75. Be the hero tonight. Don't make mom cook. 12 fire-baked wings. Also, the half pan of the salad. Any 2 of the specialty pizzas. Try that Hot Mama that Dunaway loves. I will warn you, it's very spicy, but the taste is incredible. Again, 4 locations. The original in Lakeview, one in Vestavia, one in Montevallo, now in Crestline. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
Okay, so as we go coaching circle, rumors are all over the place. You get people, calling you up saying, hey, I think I saw Scott Frost walking around the football complex over the weekend.
Oh, would that excite you?
Well, I saw our buddy Matt Hayes send it out last week once Miami had an opening at the OC. Him in a Miami shirt, a Photoshop Miami shirt. Scott Frost. What do you guys think of Scott Frost as a football coach and an offensive play caller? Wasn't he pretty good at Oregon as an OC?
Oh,
yeah. I mean, a lot of people felt like if he didn't leave before Taggart, I guess, got the job, that he would have been the guy. But he goes to Central Florida. Wasn't he your national coach of the year 1 year there where they go undefeated?
And he was calling plays there,
Yeah,
right?
he was calling plays. So, he's still a young, energetic guy. I just wonder his time at Nebraska. I mean, obviously it's tainted the reputation a little bit, but at the same time, has it worn him down?
Yeah, I mean, they were top 5 scoring offense in the nation all 3 years he was at Oregon. And then he went to Central Florida, and they led the nation in scoring the year they went undefeated, which he parlayed into the Nebraska job. Now, that's the good. And that's where the good ended. I mean, once it got to Nebraska, it was not great for Scott Frost, obviously. And
was he still calling plays at the end there, or did he eventually give that
No,
up?
I think he gave it to Mark Whipple, if I am not mistaken.
Yeah, he did.
You're talking about at Nebraska?
This past year.
Mark Whipple was the one that called plays this past year.
Yeah, and it seemed like they had that Malzahn and NEOC's butting head problem on occasion, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he say a couple of things post-game where he was like, we've got to be more aggressive with our play calling or something? He said a couple of things in post-game that made me think that he and Whipple were at battle.
Yeah, I remember you bringing that up and us talking about that. Like, well, you're the head coach, and if we need to be more aggressive, you tell your offensive coordinator that.
Yeah, we need to be more
I remember
aggressive.
that. I remember us talking about that. So maybe they did butt heads. I don't know. But look, his time at Oregon was really good. His time at Central Florida was really good. It did not work out at Nebraska. So, am I getting what I got? And here's the thing. At Nebraska – at Alabama, the beauty about being offensive coordinator at Alabama is Nick Saban is such an elite recruiter. You've got the personnel advantage every single time you play.
That's right.
The worst case scenario for you, it's going to be even, and that is pretty rare at Alabama when you're an elite program like Alabama. So I've got better tools than anybody I'm going up against defensively.
Yeah, pretty much it would be the same situation he had at Oregon when those offenses were really elite.
And the opposite of what he had at Nebraska. I mean, I don't know how often in conference anyway he ever had that at Nebraska.
But think about this. You're getting a national champion if in fact, wherever Scott Frost goes.
Well, I mean, he could end up being just in Tuscaloosa to talk to Nick Saban.
Absolutely.
Could be an analyst.
Coaches roll through there all the time to check things out.
Picking brains,
But Scott Frost, the guy that won a national championship as a player at Nebraska. He's a national championship head coach. I'm kidding, but Kylie Matrix did say in 2017 Central Florida was your national
champion. It was a really good team, though.
It was a really good team.
But Monty makes the point.
They hung a sign.
Frost completely threw away his opportunity in Nebraska and completely unorganized under him. Well, I will tell you that, Lane Kiffin sort of had that same reputation when he came to Tuscaloosa and learned a little bit about organization. Sark always talks about the organization he learned in his time in Tuscaloosa. In fact, everybody who leaves Tuscaloosa, they rarely seem to be talking about X's and O's when they leave. What'd you learn most under Nick Saban? How to be organized, how to make use your time in a valuable way, how to run a organization. Those are the kind of things that nobody says. Nick Saban maybe is the best X's and O's coach of all time, but his organization is what some of these guys who run through the washer over there seem to take away from the program.
Yeah, and look, and Frost, I mean, that could be the missing ingredient from his his resume was the organization. I will tell you this. To go 5 years at Nebraska and never have a bowl season is really hard to do. But I think Nebraska's in good hands, especially with the picture I saw over the weekend.
Yeah, well, we know that Matt Rule and his offensive coordinator, Marcus Satterfield, know which show to watch. We do know that. Let's hope it leads to some wins.
This is organization right here.
That's it. That is how you build a winning football program. You start with the Next Round T-shirt and hats. So thanks to our old buddy, Coach Rule, for repping our equipment, repping our gear the other day.
Yeah, hashtag GBR, Go Big Red, with the battle red hats on there.
Oh, those work perfectly for Nebraska, don't they?
Perfect.
I expect him to use the phrase battle red with his Go Big Red this year. Matt Rule there. We'll talk to Ryan Kelly, a little football coming up. Ghost Energy Drinks brings you part of the show. All those wonderful flavors. Blue raspberry, red berry, the Warheads. You also have the Sour Patch Kids. My favorite's the citrus. We're in the Birmingham Racecourse Casino studio, and we're back with NFL All-Pro Ryan Kelly. He joins us next to talk a little NFL football on TNR.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
This hour is brought to you by Culver's. Cake cone, waffle cone, or dish, you can't go wrong with the flavor of the day. Join My Culver's at culvers.com to receive a flavor of the day forecast delivered right to your inbox. That's Culver's. Welcome to Delicious.
Stay up to date with the Next Round at nextroundlive.com. The latest videos from the show, plus podcasts like the Mystery Fifth Hour, Bama and Bourbon, Last Call, and others from the Double Down Media podcast family. You can start your day with the latest college football stories, plus easy-to-listen to hour-by-hour downloads of the live show. NextRoundLive.com, a great way to stream the show live or shop in the Next Round store. Make NextRoundLive.com your homepage. That's NextRoundLive.com.
The Next Round is so much more than the show you get from 9 to 1 each day. So make sure to head to our official YouTube channel at Next Round Live and subscribe to get all of our latest content. We, of course, have plenty of specialty content and shorts based all around the sports in the heart of the SEC. But we also talk pro sports, gambling, lifestyle and entertainment, and so much more. It's the Next Round YouTube channel where you never know what you're going to find next. Subscribe now to see the latest content and get notifications when we go live. That's at Next Round Live on YouTube.
Hey, Ryan Brown here from the Next Round. Do you want to help pay for my kids' college and look great while you're doing it? You need to go to the Next Round store. Everything from hats to short sleeve and long sleeve t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, zip-up hoodies, and much more. And we're adding new things all the time. Why would you not want to see my kids get a great college education and look great out in the public while you're doing it? Get the gear we wear all the time on the show, and there's only one place to get it. NextRound.store. That's NextRound.store.
Did you tweak your shoulder putting up Christmas decorations? Injure your elbow shooting hoops in the backyard? Or hurt your knees getting up from the couch at halftime? Let 2023 be the year precision sports medicine and orthopedics gets your life back on track. Orthopedic care is better together. Find your provider today. Call 205-512-3885. That's 205-512-3885. Or visit precisionsportsortho.com/2023.
Want more of The Next Round? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our not-for-all-ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day and still pull out the big stick, the type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera, and the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Oklahoma, third largest victory of an unranked team over an AP number 2 team in the 75-year history of the AP poll. They end Alabama's 9-game win streak, 93-69. Auburn's comeback falls short at West Virginia, 80-77. Big 12 wins the SEC Big 12 Challenge 7-3. Kansas City and Philadelphia are off to the Super Bowl after winning on the AFC NFC Championship Sunday. We'll talk to Ryan Kelly about that in just a second after LT tells us about
gutter cap. A lot of rain this past weekend. You need to keep those gutters clean and free-flowing. The answer is Gutter Cap. It's a patented aluminum cover system. It fits over most existing gutters, keeping debris out. Eliminate that gutter cleaning forever. It's back with a lifetime warranty. Call my good friend Chris Stewart, 205-823-2212. That's 205-823-2212 or online guttercapbirmingham.com.
All right, welcome Alabama great, NFL great Ryan Kelly back to the show. He's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What's up, Ryan? How are you?
Hey, doing well. How are you guys doing this morning?
Doing awesome. Thanks a lot. We got at least one good game. Let's start with the early game. I mean, you know, when you're starting a third-team quarterback and he leaves in the first possession, you're playing on the road in the NFC Championship game, your odds drop tremendously. I mean, as a player on the field, I don't know if you could put yourself in the San Francisco 49ers shoes, but when you see that happen, as a player, I mean, that's just got to be a gut punch. There's just got to be a slap of reality that, man, this is going to be an uphill climb.
Yeah, I think, and you look at, the way that the game transpired at the very end of the second and then early in the third, you're in for a long day, right? I mean, that's a long season. You get to, you work your ass off to get to the NFC Championship game, and then to have it, to go like that, I think it's probably the most frustrating. That's a long flight back to San Francisco from Philadelphia too, and I felt for those guys too, because they just work your butt off. With the quarterback changes they've had all year. Great defense, great offense, the acquisitions they've had to go in there and have that happen in the last game, it sucks. That's just kind of the way the NFL rolls, man. Just next man up, and no one cares, no one cares.
This Philadelphia defense is relentless, though, when it comes to getting to the quarterback. You guys saw them earlier this year, should have actually beaten them. But Hassan Reddick, just talk about that pass rush from Philadelphia as an offensive lineman.
Yeah, you look at the roster top to bottom on both sides. They're just stacked. They've done a great job of acquiring different positions and different pieces to really excel their defense. And, surely their defensive line is no joke. They've got all 5 guys up front, and that's what they want to do. They want to cover you up, not let you double-team guys and let the guys in the back end, protect the way that they can. And so I think that, it's going to be a great matchup. Obviously Kansas City's got a great offensive line. And, I'm not sure they're used to that type of – it'd be interesting to see what kind of defense the Eagles come out in. Obviously, having to protect against the pass game, and Mahomes this year will be feeling better. It'll be definitely interesting to see how they play. But, just a star-studded defensive line. And, you can say that about almost every team in the NFL.
Do centers have the same kind of fraternity that the quarterbacks do? Because you always see the quarterbacks run and meet each other right afterwards. Like Jason Kelsey, 35 years old. It feels like you've been doing it a long time in the NFL. Do you have great respect for a guy like Kelsey who has done it for this long at that level for Philadelphia?
Absolutely. And to answer your question, yes, there's a fraternity for sure. You always, even if you don't really know the guy, you go up and shake his hand, and that's how you get to know guys. I met Brandon Linder just through being seeing him twice in the AFC for 6-7 years, and you get to kind of know these guys, and you watch them on film when you're watching tape, and there's definitely a fraternity mean, it's a tough position to play, and a lot of respect for those guys too. But surely Jason has just played at such a high level for so long, and I watched him at Cincinnati when he was there because I'm from Cincinnati, so I'd go down there and watch him play. And for a guy to come in as a recruited linebacker to turn into an offensive guard and then move to center in the NFL and play till he's 35, and who knows if he's going to keep playing or not, but surely the heartbeat of that offensive line. And Jeff Stoutland, the offensive line coach, was my coach for the first 2 years in college, and just what a great guy, what a great developer of men. And there's no surprise that they're having so much success up front.
Ryan Kelly is with us, the Alabama great now with the Colts. He is on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. I'm glad you brought Stoutland up. I was going to ask you about him because, and I don't know how well you know Barrett Jones. Barrett's a good friend of ours, and he used to tell me, man, Stoutland is as good as they come. This guy is as good an offensive line coach as I ever played for. And to do it as long as he's done it since leaving Alabama in Philadelphia speaks volumes. With several different head coaches, they've all kept him.
Yeah, I think that just goes to show you, how valuable he is, and his reputation in the NFL. Usually, when a new coach comes in, they clean house pretty quickly. They want to get some new guys in there. They want to get their guys, and for all those coaches to keep him, I think just that says enough about what he is as a man and how he develops players. But I know Barrett is very high on him as well. It was just his attention to detail, and I think the offensive line development is such a crucial stage. When especially I look at it's probably different when you're coaching NFL guys, right? When you're getting guys coming in that are 17, 18 years old and they don't have the body for it, how you're able to develop them into when they leave, I think, is probably shows the most about you. And surely, the 2 years that I had with him were a huge stepping point in my career and kind of taught me a lot of the things that I still use to this day. And so, love Jeff till the day I die, man. He's an awesome coach, rock star guy, and damn good offensive line coach.
Hey, 12 combined sacks in the 2 games yesterday, and it just seems like we see more and more sacks, whether it's at the college level or the NFL. Is it just better defensive line play, or are offensive lines regressing a little bit?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's, surely this league, as you look at it across the board, name a team really that goes from under center in college anymore that don't. It's all become an air fest, right? And it definitely puts some strain on the offensive line. And I think that, teams that are able to balance pass protection with also running the ball efficiently, I think you probably have, considerably less amount of sacks. But, it's amazing to see from the fans' perspective, right? You'll see a guy just come scot-free and sack the quarterback, right? And you're just, the fans are like, well, how did the offensive line not pick him up? Like, you clearly see he's coming. It's like, well, you don't know the rules. You have no idea what the protection call is. There's what if the quarterback knew he was hot from that side and just didn't see the guy, or he just forgot, right? There's 100 different factors that go into it. But I think that you look at across the league, the league is going towards faster, smaller guys. It's not even so much smaller. They're just faster and bigger. The kind of that hybrid outside linebacker, defensive end type that come in on third down. It's getting harder to block these guys, and surely I wonder if there's just a different development of younger guys coming out of the NFL. There's 1,000 factors that go into it, but I don't really read much into it. It's just the job is the job, and as it goes, that goes. And you look at probably from 2005 on, right? The game's changed so much with these different quarterbacks who were able, a heck of a lot more mobile and kind of tailor their game towards it. So it'd be fun to see. It's fun to watch Hurts and Mahomes, 2 guys that I think the defense is going to have to play a little bit more, conservative with those guys in there and let the defensive ends rush up field. But also at the same point, they're going to have to play contained pretty well too, because these guys get out of the pocket.
Yeah, and there's a part of the Hall of Fame where the tight end used to be connected to the offensive line, and there was this thing called a fullback back there to help the offensive lineman on some of the blocking too, right?
Oh yeah. Those things to be the way of the past, man. If you're considering to get a fullback in the NFL, man, you've got a very slim chance and a couple teams that are going to take you.
Yeah, Mike Webster always had, if they screwed up front, Rocky Blyer was back there to clean things up for those guys back there. That's a great point.
Yeah. Might be a different story these days, man.
Hey, so you're I guess current coach right now. You guys are figuring that out. Jeff Saturday goes straight from the booth, a former center. What was it like when he first came in, and overall, what was the experience like with Jeff Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard. We love Frank. I mean, I think that the Carolina Panthers got an incredible pickup with him. Just a guy who knows, being a former player for 15 years, he knows the locker room. He knows, how coaches and players should interact. And I thought, we all loved him. Obviously, takes the job with Andrew Luck thinking he's going to be the quarterback for the next 15 years, and that changed quickly, right? So I feel bad for Frank, but I'm glad he got his chance in Carolina. But Jeff came in. It was different. We didn't, it was not told to the team that he was going to be the head coach. So we all kind of found out on our own. And that next following week that led up to it, big Raiders win, and then we just couldn't get things going. And I don't know if surely it was tough. I think it was tough on everybody. The offensive line, we kind of knew Jeff just being around here and there, but besides me, I don't think many people really knew him that well, especially not on the other side of the ball. And then you look at the Minnesota game and the Philly game, and I mean, we're super close. I mean, we absolutely should have beat the Vikings. 33-0 at halftime. That's ridiculous to give that up. It was just didn't work out, man. I don't know if and we love Jeff. I mean, it was great. I think it was just interesting move, interesting year to say the least.
Well, the Super Bowl's about to cap it off, and then it'll be into the offseason for you guys. Ryan, we appreciate the time as always, man. Great catching up again, and we really appreciate you making a few minutes for us today.
All right, guys. You have a good rest of the day. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much. That is Ryan Kelly, the former Alabama center, now with the Indianapolis Colts, who are looking for a head coach. Jeff Saturday's got a second interview. I don't guess he's completely out of the mix.
Well, Jim Irsay's the guy that's actually going to do the hiring, and that's his buddy.
Yeah, and Irsay said he is not opposed to keeping Saturday as the head coach for a full season, let him get a full year under his belt.
Didn't sound like Ryan was too pumped about that.
No. I mean, there was not a lot that told me Jeff Saturday was the choice.
Yeah, I mean, look, 33-0 at halftime is
you can't lose that game.
Absolutely, you can't lose that game. But at the same time, we talk about San Francisco's quarterback situation. Since Ryan Kelly came into the NFL, he's had 8 different starting quarterbacks.
Yeah, like he said, I mean, it's hard to forget Frank Reich still took that job when it looked like Andrew Luck was going to be your guy.
That's right.
And since
Andrew Luck, they have been lost.
Yeah, they have been. I mean,
that's one of the. They could have been playing yesterday if Andrew Luck's still there.
Yeah, right. And they could have been the team since Andrew Luck was there because they've had all the parts except quarterback.
Well, and again, as we talked about that, I don't know why Luck randomly came up the other day, but you have a 10, 15-year plan with that guy, and then that plan ends short. And now I've built a team for him, and I don't have him. You think when you get a franchise quarterback, I got this guy for 15 years.
I mean, a better option, Andrew Luck, 2 weeks of practice, or Josh Johnson yesterday for San Francisco.
Oh, no. Somebody in the chat room was saying there was somebody in row 3, seat 32, that was like, dude, I quarterbacked in junior college. Put me in there. Or I used to park the cars here at the stadium in Boston, and then I
park the cars.
Park the car. You got to nod your head.
Okay. After you tell us about Redmont Distilling, Redmont Vodka, Vulcan Gin, Forrester and I have three little clips here that we want to show you that could be alcohol related or not, but they were some vicious stuff over the weekend.
Locally owned and operated, our friends at Redmont. We're about to have that Final Pour March Madness announcement. We're still working out details on that, but look to win Chuck's Bucks. That will be coming soon. Redmont vodka is made from corn, which not only makes it gluten-free, also provides that smooth finish, no harsh aftertaste, 8 times distilled, available at your local package, including Pink Package and Beverage Place, also ABC stores. Ask for it by name, available in 20 states. It's Redmont vodka.
Okay, listen, I was drinking yesterday, too, watching these games over at LT's house. And I kept asking the question too: if Brock Purdy's hurt, let's go to the locker room. Let's get a shot. Let's just see if the shot helps.
The old Toradol?
Yeah, let's just do something. Let's do something. Let's don't sit out there. Let's go do something. Let's see if something, an icy hot or a shot or something. Let's just go to the locker room to make it look like we're trying to do something. Ric Flair, though, a little more aggressive on Twitter. Ric Flair at Brock Purdy. I crashed in an airplane. Get in the game. WTF.
I mean, they should have at least come out because after the game, Purdy said that it felt like shocks all over from his elbow.
They think he's got a torn UCL, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
So if it's torn UCL, at least explain where the broadcast team can say, look, he's trying to throw, but he can't throw.
Yeah. Can't grip the ball, can't
don't
throw.
we assume when he comes in and they hand off 40 straight times, he can't
We
throw?
do, but
it's
it's a bad look on his part because it looks like it's a pain issue and he just doesn't want to play through it.
There was that time between when he was just sitting on the bench that a lot of people in my vicinity that was cheering for the 49ers were questioning, well, how bad is he hurt if he's not going and going into the locker room to maybe get the shot?
Well, because I thought when when he hits his head and the referee pulls him out of the game and Purdy went back in, I was like, because I thought the same thing. I was like,
well, why are you going in?
No, I was thinking, like, how badly is he hurt if they went to the backup and this guy can at least still come in the game?
Yep.
Like, I don't know that. I mean, I guess they had to evaluate it, but he finished out the game. I don't know that I would have, if I'm San Francisco, I would have just seen what the run game looked like because that's all they did in the second half anyway was run the football. Yeah. That's all they could do, right?
Why don't we go McCaffrey and Debo and just say, let's do the Wildcat.
Let's just run it, shorten the game, and see what we got at halftime, right? Yeah. Before I go to my third-team quarterback. I mean, that's a third-team quarterback.
Well, and who has memorized 15 playbooks in his career.
That's right. He's played for 15 different teams.
And I will tell you, the fumble right before half, that thing should have been 14-7 half, no doubt about it. And then you figure out a plan. It was much different going in the locker room at 21-7 after Josh Johnson fumbles that ball.
Yeah, I mean, we may be able to score one. It's going to be hard for us to score two touchdowns.
Yeah, because if you're San Francisco, you're like, okay, we've got a world-class defense. There's a chance we're going to get a turnover, right? There's a chance that our defense might even score points for us. So let me shorten the game. Let's make sure Philadelphia has only got 6 more possessions or whatever.
Because I really thought San Francisco's defense had played fantastic up until that point.
Well, they'd done all they could do. They were getting no help from their offense.
Royal Payne says that they did make their bed, though. San Francisco could have had Mac Jones and kept their 22nd and 23rd first-round picks and another later-round pick because they gave it all up for Trey Lance.
I will tell you, Mac Jones would be great in that offense.
He really would. Yeah.
And people would be talking about one of the better quarterbacks or young quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And, I don't know what his future is in New England, but, boy, San Francisco, I don't know what they do at quarterback now.
Different feeling pregame for San Francisco fans in Philadelphia, which is a brutal fan base, Philadelphia, right? So here's Jerry Rice pregame. Jerry Rice, the GOAT. He's getting just razzed by the Philadelphia fans. So he throws on all of his Super Bowl rings.
Wow. Did he leave with them?
No,
that's a little dangerous.
No, watch what he does. Now he gives them the bird.
Oh, wow.
He's flipping them off, walking through the tunnel with all of his Super Bowl rings on as he leaves through the tunnel there, and they're just giving him hell. But that's the walk-off from the GOAT, Jerry Rice. Fly, Eagle, fly is what he was saying with the middle finger.
Wow, boy, I mean, he keeps it up for a long time, too.
My God. What is he? I mean, I know he's wearing a helmet.
Well, it's a diamond encrusted helmet. It looks like. I don't think those are real. Yeah, my gosh.
No, it may be real. I don't know, Brown, in this world we live in. But it is a 49er helmet necklace. And then he puts on all of his Super Bowl rings, and he flies it into the tunnel there.
I don't know if they said this on the TV broadcast because I was going to do TV. I was headed to 3340, and I was listening to the game on Sirius XM. And when Kelsey caught the touchdown, I think it moved him to second all-time in postseason touchdown receptions.
I think for tight ends, or was it all?
No, I think it's all time.
Okay. No, it is all time.